Welcome wherever you are watching from to another edition of the Weekly Files. Here's your review of the past week. Prince Andrew relinquishes use of Duke of York title amid escalating controversies. In a dramatic turn for the British monarchy, Prince Andrew, Duke of York, has announced that he will no longer use his title of Duke of York, along with several high honours, following intense scrutiny over his past associations and legal controversies. In a statement released via Buckingham Palace, Prince Andrew said that after consultations with his brother, King Charles III, and extended family, they concluded that the continued accusations about me distract from the work of His Majesty and the royal family. With the King's agreement, Andrew will cease using the Duke of York title and associated honours, such as the Knight Grand Cross of the Royal Victorian Order and Royal Knight Companion of the Order of the Garter. He will retain his status as a prince by birthright. Technically, the dukedom remains legally his. It would require an Act of Parliament to strip it, but he has agreed not to use it. His former wife, Sarah Ferguson, will also give up her title of Duchess of York. Their daughters, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, retain their titles. The announcement comes amid renewed public and media attention on Andrew's long-standing links to disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein, who was convicted of sex trafficking offences. Several factors converged. Excerpts from a forthcoming memoir by Epstein accuser Virginia Giuffre have surfaced, reviving claims that Andrew had sexual encounters with her when she was underage. In the past, Andrew's 2019 BBC interview defending his actions was broadly panned as tone-deaf and unpersuasive, further damaging his reputation. Beyond the Epstein scandal, documents have also revealed that Andrew had a close association with a businessman later flagged by UK authorities as a possible Chinese spy. Royal advisers reportedly felt that Andrew's continued presence and titles had become a reputational liability for the monarchy. Public sentiment appears to have strongly favoured this move. A poll conducted by YouGov found that 67% of Britons supported stripping Andrew of his remaining royal titles. Only 13% opposed it. Though Andrew retains his birthright title of prince, his role within the royal family is now marginal. He is expected to remain at his current residence, Royal Lodge, but will no longer attend major royal events, including traditional family gatherings like Christmas at Sandringham. This development raises deeper questions. Will legal or parliamentary action eventually strip him of princely status altogether? How far will the monarchy go to distance itself from senior figures who pose reputational risk? One thing is clear. The decision marks a watershed moment in the monarchy's ongoing effort to manage its public image in the 21st century. In other news, federal prosecutors moved to indict former Trump advisor John Bolton on classified documents. Federal prosecutors in Maryland have asked a grand jury to indict former National Security Advisor John Bolton, who served under President Donald Trump, on multiple charges for allegedly mishandling classified documents, according to sources familiar with the investigation. The draft indictment, handed to the grand jury in Maryland, reportedly includes 8 counts of unlawful transmission of national defense information, accusing Bolton of sending sensitive documents via a personal email account and messaging app to unauthorized individuals. 10 counts of unlawful retention of national defense information, alleging that he kept classified material at his Maryland home and on personal devices. Some of the documents are said to contain details about planned attacks, intelligence sharing between US allies, missile launch plans of foreign adversaries, and covert operations. Prosecutors also allege that one of Bolton's personal email accounts was hacked by a group believed to have ties to Iran. According to sources cited by ABC News, the Individual 1 and Individual 2 to whom Bolton allegedly sent these materials are his wife and daughter, respectively. Bolton strongly denied wrongdoing and framed the move as retaliation by Trump. In a statement, he said, "For 4 decades, I have devoted my life to America's foreign policy and national security. I would never compromise those goals." These charges are not just about his focus on me or my diaries, but his intensive effort to intimidate his opponents. Dissent and disagreement are foundational to America's constitutional system. His legal team has also asserted that the documents in question were already cleared by career review teams before his book was published, and that the material was unclassified when shared with his family. This move appears to align with a series of legal actions targeting Trump critics and former officials. The Bolton indictment comes on the heels of an indictment of former FBI Director James Comey on charges of making false statements and obstructing Congress. A federal case against New York Attorney General Letitia James for alleged mortgage fraud, which critics view as politically charged. Some observers interpret these prosecutions as part of a broader campaign by the Trump administration to exert influence over federal law enforcement and judicial processes. Bolton's case will test how the Department of Justice balances national security, executive branch privilege, and political pressures. It also raises questions about consistency, whether similar standards will be applied uniformly across former officials and those close to the current administration. In entertainment, Ace Frehley, spaceman of Kiss, dies at 74. The rock world is reeling at the news that Paul Daniel Ace Frehley, the original lead guitarist and founding member of Kiss, has died at the age of 74. His passing was confirmed via a statement from his family and representatives, who said his death followed a recent fall at his home, though they did not immediately confirm a precise medical cause. According to reporting from Rolling Stone, Frehley sustained a fall at his home, which ultimately led to his death. While details remain limited, his family described his passing as of epic proportions and shared that he was surrounded by love and care during his final moments. Other media outlets note that Frehley had earlier suffered head trauma and a brain bleed in connection with that fall, which sidelined him and contributed to serious health complications. His family also reportedly considered removing life support as his condition declined. On guitar, Frehley brought a melodic, aggressive style that emphasized atmosphere and hooks. He wasn't the technical virtuoso of some contemporaries, but his playing cut through with immediacy and flair, serving both the songs and the spectacle. His songwriting also left a mark. He wrote or co-wrote fan favorites such as Shock Me, which detailed his near electrocution on stage and became one of Kiss's most referenced solos. In 2014, he and the original lineup were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. His influence extended broadly. Later guitarists in hard rock and metal cited him as an early inspiration, drawn to his raw tone, hooks, and performance sensibility. News of Frehley's passing triggered an outpouring of respect and mourning across music circles. Gene Simmons, Kiss's bassist and co-founder, led many tributes, expressing sorrow over the loss of their longtime bandmate. In a statement, the Frehley family said, "We are completely devastated and heartbroken. In his last moments, we were fortunate enough to have been able to surround him with loving, caring, peaceful words, thoughts, prayers, reflecting on all of his incredible life achievements. Ace's memory will continue to live on forever." Fans and musicians alike recalled his energy, swagger, and the way he seemed to inhabit both the cosmic and the everyman. For many, he wasn't just the spaceman. He was proof rock still had room for spectacle, fun, and heart. Frehley's death closes a chapter in the story of Kiss. As the first founding member of the classic lineup to die, his absence will be deeply felt, both personally among bandmates and collectively among fans. Looking ahead, his music remains. Those riffs, solos, and melodies will echo in headphones, concert halls, and hearts. Whether it's a live, Destroyer, or his solo Ace Frehley, the records stand as touchstones. Trump commutes George Santos's prison term in a headline-grabbing move on October 17, 2025. President Donald Trump announced that he has commuted the federal prison sentence of former Representative George Santos, clearing the way for Santos's immediate release. George Santos, a one-term Republican congressman from New York, had been sentenced in April 2025 to 87 months, just over 7 years, in federal prison after pleading guilty to charges including wire fraud and aggravated identity theft. The commutation announced by Trump does not erase Santos's conviction. It simply cancels the remaining part of his prison sentence, allowing him to walk free early. The announcement was made by Trump via his social media platform, Truth Social, in which he said, "George Santos was somewhat of a rogue, but there are many rogues throughout our country that aren't forced to serve 7 years in prison." Trump also cited Santos's alleged mistreatment in prison, long stretches, in solitary confinement, horribly mistreated, as part of his rationale. Santos's political career was marked by scandal from early on. He admitted that much of his personal biography, education, employment, heritage, was fabricated. After his election to Congress, he was expelled from the House in December 2023, following bipartisan action, and was later indicted. Thank you for watching. But now it's goodbye.